Good evening. Recording has begun.
Okay, good evening. We will begin the call to order for the Planning Commission meeting today on December 5th, 2023. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask Commissioner Bob, do you mind? Tom?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first order of business is approval of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Vice Chairman Sampson,
Yes.
I move that we accept the November 7th, 2023 meeting minutes as presented.
Motion accepted. Is there a second?
Vice Chairman, I second.
There's a second. All in favor say yay.
Yeah.
Yay. All opposed, nay. Minutes approved. Next manner of business on the meeting agenda is selection of the commission chairman and vice chairman. Do I have a motion for chairman?
Vice Chairman Sampson, I move that you be elected as chairman of the Planning Commission and vice chairman be Commissioner Banks.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second has been approved. All in favor, say yay. All opposed, nay. Yeas have it. Position of chair and vice chair has been accepted. All right. Next manner of business on the agenda is discussion of a Steeplechase, Phase 3.
Yes, Chairman Sampson, Brent Manuel, Town Manager, sitting in for Ms. Harrington this evening. Before you this evening is a request to extend the preliminary plat for Steeplechase Phase 3. This matter was heard before the commission and the preliminary plat was approved at the December 6th, 2022 meeting. Town code requires that a preliminary plat be recorded, or excuse me, you go to final plat within a year's time. If that does not take place, the developer needs to request an extension, which Mr. Rymer, who is here with Steeplechase, is present. So the request is to extend the preliminary plat as stated within the staff report that Ms. Harrington has put together for you. And I will go through recommendations if there, I'll stop now and see if there are any questions for me or Mr. Rymer at this time.
Okay. At this time, before I ask for any questions, Mr. Rymer, do you have anything you want to add at this moment?
No, sir. Other than getting something done in 1 year, unless it's impossible. Absolutely. Ron Rymer, developer of Villages of Steeplechase. As you just heard, I was here December 6th of last year, get my preliminary approval. The county actually does 4 years for a preliminary approvals to get to the plat. I think actually Janine's been looking at how the codes are actually written with the town right at the moment, because getting it done in 1 year is virtually impossible. So I thank you for your time.
Okay. At this time, I'll ask the commissioners, are there any questions? Okay. All right. I just have two questions real quick. The first question, I believe, was already answered previously, but I couldn't find in my notes. And so I just wanted to hear what the answer was, even though I vaguely remember the question being asked. On the tabulation chart, the numbers didn't add up. What was the reason? I can't remember the reason why the numbers didn't add up when you go down the columns. So if you add down in the column, I just can't remember. I remember it came up before.
This, are you talking about the residential units?
Yes.
You're saying they don't add up when they go?
When you go into the column sheet, you'll notice that when you add down, I think starting with the 2-story townhome, if you add those numbers up and then go to the 3-story townhome, the duplex, going down, they don't add up. Going across, they do.
I hear you. So.
And I can't remember.
Story is the one that's off.
The 2-story, the 3-story, the 3-story, the duplex don't add up in the 2-story.
Mhm.
And I remember it came up before. I just can't remember what was the reason.
That's gotta be an error.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
just a,
Yeah,
Just
there's
an error.
gotta be an
Okay.
error. There's gotta be that.
in the staff
there.
report, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said,
Probably
I remember it came up before. I just couldn't
Was
remember.
not called, yes.
And then the last question I had was, is there any new status on the new pump station? I remember that was supposed to be something.
Yes, my understanding is pretty much ready to fire other than a backup generator. I think we're on back order.
That's exactly correct. I think it's 97% complete. We've been waiting for a generator for 48 months. So as soon as that generator's done, it will be finished.
Okay. That's the only questions I had. I'll ask one last time. Does any commissioners have any questions?
I do have a question. What's the period of extension that we're,
Believe the original is for a year.
Again, I wish Janine was here, but my assumption it's going to be for 1 year.
It is.
Yeah, but again, I think she's looking at that code to figure out what to do in the future because as I said, it's just virtually impossible to get it done in a year.
Many times these provisions are put in place in the event that you have a major code overhaul. And let's say the town code was amended to go from a 4-foot sidewalk to a 6-foot sidewalk. And that change, say the commission may want to see that incorporated to the new preliminary plat. We have not had any major changes to our code that would necessitate such considerations.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the extension of the preliminary plat?
Chairman Sampson. I move that we extend the preliminary plat for Steeplechase.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Chairman Sampson, I second.
Okay. At this time, we'll go ahead and take the vote. And forgive me if I pronounce your last name wrong. Commissioner Meniski? Oh, shoot. Okay, my fault. Commissioner Banks. Okay. Okay, Councilwoman. Oh, Commissioner Hudnall?
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Hightower? And Councilwoman Banks.
Right.
Forgive me. All right. Motion has been approved.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Next item of business is the Planning Commission meeting schedule for 2024.
Yes, you have before you the 2024 meeting schedule as proposed, which includes the meeting date as well as a submission date for any applicant. I notice she has an asterisk beside the month of August, says it has been moved for the first Wednesday of the month due to holiday or other conflicts, which I believe that conflict is National Night Out. So if it's the will of the commission, you could entertain a motion to accept the calendar for calendar year 2024 meeting schedule.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the calendar as is?
that we accept the planning commission's 2024 calendar as presented.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Everyone that approves, say yay.
Yeah.
Opposed, nay. Motion is approved. Next is the monthly planning report.
There we go. If the town clerk would pull up the monthly planning department report, please. You will scroll through, you'll see the permits issued by type. This is for covering the period, basically calendar month of October. Includes 7 commercial building permits, 14 residential building permits, 13 major facility fee permits were issued. And then plumbing, sign, use and occupancy, 23 use and occupancy permits were approved through the month of October, and utility service permits, 15. Scrolling to the next slide, you will see some of the highlighted commercial use and occupancy permits issued. 203 Centennial Street for Hype Skin LLC, 145 Rosewick Road, Unit 103, White Oak Vet and Urgent Care, that's in the Rosewick Corner Shopping Center, and 205 East Charles Street, Tattered Elegance, which is home decor. Code enforcement, you'll see the number of citations and other warnings that were issued through the month of October. It's a busy month, a lot of temporary signs removed. I guess that was still, we didn't really have an election in Maryland, so that can't be that. And then to the development review, you see that staff did conduct a pre-construction meeting on Pine Grove Neighborhood Q1 in mid-November. Staff is working on monthly development update information on the town's website, and staff is participating in, did participate, Ms. Harrington participated in the Board of Education Redistricting Committee for a new elementary school located in the St. Charles development. Municity update that is still ongoing. They hope to launch sometime into the calendar year. We'll see. They're having some issues interfacing with other software packages that the town utilizes. So that's still a work in progress, but we did have on-site training in the office last week. Additionally, we have town code revisions that the department is working on, including an adequate public facility ordinance, Chapter 108, which is the Forest Conservation Code, Chapter 171, which is complete streets, Chapter 191, which is the zoning code, and Chapter 117, health and sanitation. So they are very busy, and you see there your staff that you working in the planning department. So if there's any questions, I will attempt to answer them. I'm not going to make any promises, but hopefully I can answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Chairman Sampson. Mr. Manuel, I sat here and thought of a real difficult question. I hope I stump you really good.
The answer is no.
How are we doing with the APFO? I know it's a lengthy process. I know it's going to take a lot of, detailed analysis. So where are we with the APFO?
I think we're pretty close. Janine's done a lot of good work. It's in review between the attorney and myself currently. And it's not like the world stops when we're working on this. So we're trying to work with this along with ongoing development to try to make sure that what we adopt is going to be something that's enforceable and applicable to where we are currently, especially with the water appropriation and school seats being two of the major elements that are identified in the adequate public facilities ordinance. So we are working with that and through that, and it's more so out of Ms. Harrington's hands and more in the town attorney and my desks at this point.
And I know that we lost a staff member almost a year ago.
Yes.
When we were and the last time I talked to Director Harrington, she was waiting. She wasn't in a big push to fill that position. Are we still not ready to fill that vacancy?
We've been in a big push to fill that vacancy for 6 months, and we continue to try to reach out to, we scheduled interviews at one time, and I think out of 3 of the 4, 3 no-showed.
Okay.
And so it's been a very challenging, I've talked to a headhunter that I've used in the past, and they say that we're in a difficult situation because of our relation to the nation's capital with the federal government, as well as large county governments in the region. Because, we're competing not just with Charles County, but Arlington, Alexandria, Prince George's County. So it makes it very difficult, but we continue to try. So it is a priority because she needs help. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman Simpson.
Any other questions?
I do have a question. And this is just more out of curiosity. As part of the development review, I noted that you said that staff was participating in the Board of Education redistricting committee for a new elementary school located in St. Charles. Can you connect the dots for me on that? And how does that
Yeah,
relate
that
to
would.
what we're doing here?
And I wasn't
Yeah.
part of the discussion, but my understanding is since they will be opening that new school in sort of the southern part of St. Charles, that they may pull some students out of existing elementary schools located in La Plata, freeing up some potential capacity within those schools. So that could be exciting. It's not exciting, to think that children have to move schools. That's never, I worked in Loudoun County, and I remember there were horror stories of students going to 4 different schools in 4 different years back when they had a big push of development back in the late 90s. So, ideally you would want to avoid that, but, as far as trying to fill out the capacity of that new school, they could be pulling some of the capacity out of the schools located within the town boundaries, even though they're not town schools, which would then alleviate some of our concern about overcrowding potentially the schools, more specifically the elementary school.
Which is probably one of the more challenging, trying to get elementary school students up early
Yeah.
to be bused outside of the jurisdiction. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Adams, do you have a question? Okay. Anyone else? Okay, next on the agenda is the council update.
I don't have any updates, nothing that we haven't spoke about. We just continue to work on the different developments. Pine Grove still, entertaining conversations around the development as it continues to grow and progress. And then we have another development that is seeking their preliminary plat. They obtained their preliminary plat extension, and we're working on getting them up and going to be developed. But for the most part, that's it, just day-to-day activities, still working on the police station. Do you have an update on that?
I do not.
Okay, I'm just working on trying to identify a location for our new police station, because our police officers are growing, because our town is growing, and we definitely want to have, space for them to work out of that's adequate. And so that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and we did fill the Ward 1 vacancy.
Okay. Any last comments or questions before we adjourn the meeting? Okay, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Good meeting. 19 minutes.